In a quiet, little meadow, nestled between whispering willows and a giggling brook, lived a rabbit unlike any other. His name was Roo, and while his brothers and sisters were busy digging the coziest burrows and nibbling on the sweetest clover, Roo's eyes were always fixed on the sky. He didn't just see a big blue blanket or a dark, starry quilt. He saw an adventure waiting to happen. Roo, you see, was a rocket rabbit, and he dreamed of hopping on the moon and playing tag with the stars. Every day, Roo would gather the most peculiar things. He'd find the crunchiest, most perfectly orange carrots, not for eating, but for rocket fuel, of course. He'd collect shiny tin cans left behind by campers, polishing them until they gleamed like silver. But his most prized ingredient was moonlight dust. Each night, he'd wait patiently for the moon to be at its brightest, then carefully scoop the shimmering light that settled on the morning dew into a tiny glass jar. This, he believed, was the secret to reaching the stars. With his collection of carrots, cans, and cosmic dust, Roo would get to work. While the other animals slept, his little workshop, hidden beneath the roots of an old oak tree, would be filled with sounds of tinkering and tiny taps. He built magnificent, albeit wobbly, rockets. Some were long and thin like a carrot. Others were round and shiny like a tin can. He'd carefully load his moonlight dust, whisper a hopeful wish, and with a flick of a dandelion stem, launch his creations into the night. Whoosh! A tiny rocket would shoot up, leaving a glittering trail behind. The fireflies would pause their blinking to watch. But, alas, his rockets never quite made it. They'd soar past the tallest trees, tickle the bellies of the lowest clouds, and then, with a gentle puff, they'd tumble back down, landing softly in a patch of moss. Roo was never discouraged. He'd simply retrieve his fallen rocket, make a few notes in his bark-covered journal, and start planning the next, even better one. Almost, he'd whisper to himself with a hopeful twitch of his nose. Almost there. One evening, as Roo was preparing for another launch, he noticed he wasn't alone. The other animals of the meadow had gathered around. There was Barnaby, the badger, Fiona the fox, and a whole flutter of they had watched him night after night, admiring his tireless spirit. Roo, Barnaby said in his deep, gentle voice, "We want to help." Roo's big, brown eyes widened in surprise. Before he could say a word, the animals sprang into action. Fiona, with her clever paws, helped reinforce the rocket's frame with sturdy twigs. The sparrows gathered the strongest spider silk to secure the fins. And then came the big moment. Roo's newest rocket, the Stardust Hopper, was ready. It was his biggest and best one yet. It was built not just with carrots and cans, but with the friendship and support of the entire meadow. As Roo climbed into the tiny cockpit, everyone gathered around. They pushed and heaved, giving the rocket the extra boost it needed. With a mighty cheer that echoed through the valley, they all shouted, "Go, Roo, go!" Whoosh! The Stardust Hopper didn't just soar, it exploded into the sky with a brilliant, dazzling light. It shot past the clouds, past the highest mountains, and up, up, up into the velvety darkness. Roo looked out of his tiny window and gasped. He was there, dancing among the twinkling stars he had only ever dreamed of. He saw the world below, a beautiful patchwork of greens and blues, and he saw the faces of his friends looking up, their eyes filled with pride. Roo realized he hadn't just reached the stars. He had carried the hopes and dreams of everyone in the meadow with him. He was Roo, the Rocket Rabbit, who showed everyone that with a little help from your friends, even the biggest dreams can take flight. If you loved this story, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more magical adventures.